Hey there. Here we are, Monday, May 6th, 16th, 2022, and the eclipse happened. I had no opportunity to observe it where I was at because we have way too heavy of a cloud cover. But I hope some of you are getting pictures of it from friends or other things that did. Got friends in Alberta that sent me some pretty amazing pictures where it was where they were nice and clear. So yeah, now that we've got the eclipse and the full moon out of the way, and by the way, I had something come up earlier today around the full moon and the eclipse, and somebody mistakenly thinking that the eclipse happened yesterday, but the moon wasn't going to go full until today. And this is something that you need to kind of think about logically. Eclipses happen on the full moon if it's a lunar eclipse, and they happen during a new moon if it's a solar eclipse. And if you think about the conditions that make the moon appear dark, as in a new moon, or really bright, as in a full moon, you realize it's all to do with relationships between the position of the sun, the moon, and the earth. And so it's a simple matter of physics. You can only have a lunar eclipse during the time that the moon is going full. So always, always, always you will coincide new moon with solar eclipse, full moon with lunar eclipse. And we usually just get about one or two of each a year. It's not a highly unusual situation, but it's a pretty infrequent occurrence. Okay, so now that we passed the full moon, we're in the third quarter. Planting can get a little trickier. Things that need a lot of underground development still tend to do pretty well planted in the third quarter, especially if you pick your placement right and work with the other energies. So this morning we were in Scorpio when we came into the day, but at about 2:28 in the morning, we went void, of course, and then at 4:50 in the morning, the moon entered Sagittarius. So for all intents and purposes, today is a Sagittarius day, and that gives you the opportunity to be planting anything that has a fruiting capacity. So, tomatoes, peppers, melons, cucumbers, squashes, gourds, and of course, any of your fruit trees, fruit bushes. We're getting a little into the year now for trees and bushes. Still time to get them in. Do it quickly. Make sure you do a lot of ground prep at this time of year and water, water, water. Now, right now, Mother Nature's doing us a huge favor in the watering department. I haven't even pulled my hoses out of storage. It is, we've had lots and lots of water. So, given those conditions, keep in mind those nightly temperatures. Just because it's a good time astrologically to plant tomatoes or peppers does not mean that it's the perfect time to put them out when we're still hitting single digit temperatures overnight. So, you can transplant them into your greenhouses, you can plant them up into larger pots. But unless you're in a warmer climate than I am right here, you might want to hold off on planting your more tender things outside. Should be a really, really good time, though, to plant seeds outside for your squashes and your cucumbers. It looks like it's going to be warm enough now for them to germinate and get going. So tomorrow, again, we're in Sagittarius all day until almost 10 o'clock at night. Let's see, 20:59. Yeah, 9 o'clock at night. So at about 9 o'clock at night tomorrow, the moon's going to go void, of course, and it's not going to enter Capricorn until about 5 o'clock Wednesday night. So, tomorrow evening might be a really good time to socialize. If you've got meetings planned or heavy duty things, don't be afraid of it. Don't be amazed if people are far more interested in socializing and talking and in the coffee and cake than they are in getting the actual business done. It's kind of hard to get people focused in that one at times when the moon's void, of course. But Tuesday evening should be a nice social evening. And then Wednesday morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning, we slide into Capricorn. Now, Capricorn's an earth sign. Okay. So now we're in the third quarter, which is really good for that grounded energy, planting things that grow underground. The same is true with the Capricorn. It's an earth sign. It's really good for things that need root development. So here we're talking about beets, turnips, carrots. A little cold for carrots in our neck of the woods yet to get them to germinate. If you've got them going inside, might be an okay time to transplant them outside. Um, then things like your sunchokes, they could go in right about now. Potatoes do really well when you plant them in Capricorn. Nice earthy sign, nice earthy vegetable. So, really pay attention to those things, those underground developers, make sure that the ground's well worked. And, we've got a lot of ambient moisture going on right now, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. You might even have to wait for a day, for a point in the day where the ground's a little less soggy and wet. Now, that Capricorn energy carries right on through to Thursday. The moon's in Capricorn absolutely all day Thursday. And Friday, it enters in Capricorn, but it very rapidly goes void, of course, at almost 5 a.m. And about an hour later, it moves into Aquarius. Now, Friday is also the day that about 6 o'clock in the evening, the sun's gonna enter the constellation of Gemini. So we're gonna be leaving Taurus behind. We're gonna be into Gemini. We're gonna be leaving Capricorn behind. We're gonna be into Aquarius, and we're still in the third quarter. Planting's gonna get a little tricky at that point. The Gemini influence is a much more arid sign than Taurus is. So things, your tender greens, they're going to really struggle. You might need to be putting them off until we get that new moon, which will be in a week and a half or so. But Saturday, the moon's still going to be in Aquarius. It's going to be an uninterrupted day in Aquarius, and on Sunday we're going to start out in Aquarius, but go void, of course, at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then it'll be moving into Pisces at 10:22 on Sunday morning. Now that gives you this lovely little window to get some of your tender green stuff planted if you need to get it into the ground this week. That Sunday morning window will be absolutely ideal for that. Friday and Saturday, you can really concentrate on planting maybe things that are airborne, like herbs and flowers. Make sure you give them lots of water. Now, Sunday around noon, the moon's going to hit the next quarter, and we're going to be sliding into the fourth quarter. And late in the day, Sunday, and pretty much the following week, there's not going to be a lot of opportunity for planting. But we've got tons of windows this entire week, and lots of ones that you can take good advantage of. So yeah, taking advantage of the last little bit of the Taurus energy, which is a nice earthy energy, and making use of this third quarter and the fertile periods that we've got. You should be able to get the bulk of your garden in. I'd certainly be telling you to hold off on the beans on transplanting out your squashes, your tomatoes, and your peppers. You're going to maybe find those a little hard. The workshops, the garden gather workshops that we've got going on in 3 different locations here in the Shuswap watershed are going really, really well. We've had some really good times with them, and people are picking up on a lot of ways that they can gather the food that is being freely offered at this time of year, and how they can prepare to plant and grow more food so that they can better take care of their friends and family and in these really unpredictable times. So, if you're at all interested in a little bit more hands-on learning, we've got some spaces still open in all 3 of the workshop locations. And then, of course, we put a lot of things up online and we post a lot of stuff. And last time we were in the garden, we took a really close look at what early dandelions have to offer, a little bit step beyond just the greens that all of us know that you have to get those before things flower. For a lot of people, once the dandelions are hard for them to recognize until they flower. So we thought we'd focus a little bit on dandelions. We've got a few other things there that we can share with you and pass on. So yeah, sit back and enjoy a few-minute clip of how to do a few more new things for you in the springtime, and we'll see you next week. Now, I'm going to see if I can find a bud deep down inside so I can show you. Once they start coming out, they've gotten kind of too big, but if you dig right down into the actual dandelion. There they are.
Capers.
Yes. If you dig right down into the bottom of the dandelion, before they even come up, you can dig out these little buds and you can make dandelion capers with them. You put them in a pickle brine and they are absolutely fabulous. I actually... Mm-hmm. Now you can also gather the dandelion petals. This is the time of year that you gather them if you're going to be making dandelion wine. And you'll see you've got this little green here and the sap. Well, that's where your bitterness comes from. So when you make dandelion wine, you pick off the blossom and then you gather as much of the green as you can, and you pull and that's what you save to make your dandelion wine with. Now you can also put that in, we had it in shortbread the other day.
We did, it was yummy.
Yeah, it was very yummy. You can put that in a salad just as is. Taste it. This is some of the healthiest chickweed I've seen in a long time, Michael.
Yeah, I didn't plant it there, believe me.
Yeah. Well, chickweed is kind of magical, okay? Like, chickweed's highly, highly medicinal, and a lot of people don't know that. But chickweed allows the cellular, if you drink chickweed tea or eat chickweed, it thins out your cellular membranes and allows a better transference of moisture between cells. So it can be an amazing adaptogen and allow your body to make much better use of medicines and that. Chickweed, you can just gather it right like this, totally edible. You can just wash it up and put it right in as part of your salad. But one of the things that you can also do with chickweed that's really kind of fun is you can take it at this time of year where there's tons of it and it's all nice and soft and easy to work with, and you've got enough here that I can probably do it. And twist it all together.
got a bit of grass in there, but I don't think that's going to mind it in the long run. So you can make yourself a chickweed wreath like this and let it dry and use that as a base for making a dried flower arrangement. Yeah, it'll just dry like that, and then you can wrap ribbons around it, you know, weave in other little flowers. Yeah, it's actually, chickweed's an amazing amount of fun to work with.